Hello, we're coming through Llantrisant. We're on our way to the Royal Mint Experience, which I've never been to. It's £5 to get in, apparently, unless you want a tour. We're not doing the tour. Oh, look at that view down there. My boyfriend tells me this is the Mint, the whole complex. And look that up ahead there. Oh, yeah, I think so.
Oh, right.
It's very patterny. That must be the visitors bit because it's attractive. Is this the car park? Yeah, it must be. Yeah, it is.
Royal Mint Experience. Perhaps we haven't got that wrong.
Will it be worth it? We shall see. I'm kind of trapped in. I've got stuff all over me lap. Off we go then. It's still pretty windy here. If you're watching this in the future and not sort of just when it first goes up, we are just on the tail of Storm Eunice here. We're not in the red zone anymore, but we were yesterday, but we're down to amber now. Oh, and it is a chilly, chilly day. I've left my coat in the car because I didn't want to carry it around. Look at that water. Look at that. Because we had quite a fair bit of rain. We didn't have a lot yesterday, but we had a lot today. We've come to the entrance. Croeso. Picnic benches outside, but we won't be sitting at those. Cold! There is a cafe and we intend to go in it at the end and have a coffee and maybe a cake or something, which is there actually. Oh, God, I'll be glad to get in. Flipping freezing. Oh, I've got to get my mask on. Not that one. That's my emergency mask. I don't like it, it's all frumpy. Yeah, that one. Oh, I'm heading on in. We flipped things round a bit, so we arrived and it turns out that if you want to see everything, the factory floor and everything, you have to go on a tour. That was about £14 a head, I think, wasn't it, for an adult? We are going to do that, make a proper day out of it, but the earliest tour we can get on doesn't start for another 15 minutes, so we're in the cafe now and we're just going to have a coffee. Oh, and I've got some crisps as well, and then we're going to go on the tour. Our coffees are here. We've gone for a coconut cappuccino. These are my crisps. Welsh crisps are very nice actually. They're not too salty, they're just sort of slightly salty. I asked at the desk if I could film at all during the tour and she said sadly not on the factory bit, but once we get into the exhibition centre I can do as much as I like. So I'll tell you all about the tour and we'll have a good look at the exhibition centre. We're sitting in some very comfy armchairs. It's some time later now, we've done the tour, really enjoyed that, I'll tell you about that later. I'm in the exhibition centre now and the lady has said just roam freely. She's given us a little bit of information about stuff, but now we're going to have a look around. So we've got a bit of a timeline going along here. I'm trying not to get people in shot actually, but we'll look at things in turn. So this bit here is talking about how they were initially struck by hand. That's 1,000 years ago, look, made by hand. We've got a video here, sorry it's flashing because of the frame rate. He's showing how they were made by hand. He's making the Alfred the Great silver penny, and we can see it, they've actually got one here. I'll put the date on screen because I can't find it. There we are, look. For a more detailed look, it's here, look. Anglo-Saxon England. It was struck during a particularly lively time in England's history as Alfred resisted attacks from Viking invaders. So in the beginning they didn't have one centralised mint like they do now. Here in Llantrisant they had a lot of different locations, a bit more like blacksmiths' forges in those days. But then, after a while, it moved to the Tower of London. And that's where it stayed for 500 years. And here it is, look, we've got a little model of it here down on the table. Oh, thank you very much. I'll have one of those. It'll help me to remember what to tell you about later. Well, I did not know that Sir Isaac Newton had been a mint officer, but he was. So there we are. They do make medals here as well as coins, actually. There's a bit about the Elizabeth, the first silver shilling here. Sounds like they changed the metal. And here they are, look. Real things. It looks like they moved the mint from its original location in the Tower of London to just up the road a bit here. Look at this 1937 entry to the visitors book. Some famous royals came. The Queen has been here quite a few times. Hey, look, Charles is looking young there, isn't he? This mint here was opened in 1968, and what prompted it was decimalisation, because obviously they had a huge demand to replace all the old coinage with the new. 1971 that happened. That's 4 years before I was born, actually. Oh, here we go. Look, all the old coins, the shillings and pence. It must have been ever so confusing when it suddenly changed, mustn't it? I haven't seen a halfpenny in a few years. I do have a few at home though. This is showing the sort of equivalents, look. See, when I was a kid, we still had quite a lot of these in circulation, so you just used the 2 shillings as a 10p, and you used the 1 shilling as a 5p, and so on. I never saw any of those, actually, or those. I have some, but I never had to use them personally. I'm moving on into another chamber now. Hey, look at this, from 1479. It's the Henry VII's gold sovereign. I think you can see that a bit more clearly from that big blown up picture there, can't you? They actually make coins for many different parts of the world here, not just UK coins. In this part you can have a good look at the coins that they make for other parts of the world. Look, here's a photograph of some of the things that they press into the coins to make the patterns, so you can see all the writings backwards. I like that goat one. That's a funny one, from Papua New Guinea. Well, funny to me, because it's got a hole in it. The Hong Kong coin is all crinkly round the edge, isn't it? There's Ireland there, the Republic of Ireland. I think that's a Brian Boru harp on there, but I'll check. I am entering the 3rd chamber now. This interesting looking thing here is called a Janvier machine, and it actually sort of translates bigger designs like this right down to a smaller scale, so they could make bigger moulds but end up with a smaller product, which would be a lot easier for designing it in the first place, so it's not at a really fiddly tiny scale. I found my boyfriend was sitting in the dark and we're going to watch a show. Oh, look at all that money in there. They have been known to turn their hand to other things here. During the recent pandemic, they made a lot of visors for NHS staff, and also they said during the World War they were helping out with munitions. Well, not here because they weren't here, but the Royal Mint, you know. They make medals here for the Olympics and Paralympics. There are a few hands-on activities here in this bit, and lots of hand sanitizer dispensers dotted around. I remember these old pound coins. They're not in circulation anymore, but they had them for the different Celtic nations. The Welsh one is the leek, of course. I'm looking through a magnifying glass. I'm quite deliberately not showing you everything because otherwise you won't want to come in yourself, but there is one thing that I found was quite funny. We got some various information on this board behind us. One of the things said that when Space Invaders was invented in Japan in 1978, it caused a national coin shortage. There's an old halfpenny there, very old, pre-decimalisation. The lady was saying earlier that once you touch the coins with your skin, the acid in your skin actually starts to make them lose their shine. There's an old pound note there. We're all done. We're about to go home. I thought you might like to see this old mini, and look what it's decorated with. Old pennies. We've got a grommet over there, similarly adorned. Except these ones are new pennies. Look at those great big eyes. I don't know what those are. That's the shop there. I didn't film in there. And here's the cafe area. It's shut now. It's come to that time. It took us about an hour and a half to do the whole thing. Yeah, we could have been a bit longer in there if we'd have read every single bit of information, which we didn't, but we read quite a lot, and yeah, well, it's about to close now anyway, so it's time to go home. We're on our way back to the car now. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? Hello, it's a couple of days later now. I want to tell you a little bit about the tour just before I wrap up the video. So we went into a couple of different rooms first of all, and there were a variety, something's just going through my tour, there were a variety of artifacts, objects around on display tables and on the walls, and the guide talked us through each object in turn, and we were all able to have a close look at that. And then after those rooms we went into a section which was behind a big glass wall through which we could see the factory floor in operation, and you could see the workers milling about on the little forklift trucks and, you know, working all the machinery. And so the lady was pointing out what this machine is for, what that machine is for, what this man is doing right now as we were watching. After that, we went into another chamber where people were able to strike their own coin for another bit of money. I think it was like £6, something like that. We didn't do that. Basically, they just had to press a button, and it was very fancy, and it was a bit of an extra special coin. It had more pressings or something like that on it than a normal coin, just in the factory floor. So they were like souvenir keeping coins, you know, and they were given to them in a little envelope. And after that, pretty much then we were in the exhibition centre, and you had a good old look around that in my vlog. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this Royal Mint special vlog. I normally make daily vlogs about my life here in South Wales or wherever I happen to be in the world. Do feel free to subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of that. I do quite a lot of South Wales days out at the moment, as and when I can. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Could you give it a like if you liked it? It really helps this little channel to grow, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!